Hi everybody, it's Wednesday, April 1st, 2009, April Fool's Day, and I want to talk to you a little bit today about hate and hate groups, and I'm going to put a couple of links in the description so that you can look at a map of all the hate groups in the United States, and also you can look at the many hate crimes that have recently been committed, that are always being committed, and hopefully this will drive home a point that I want to make today, that hate leads to hate groups. Hate groups follow a path from speech to action. I believe it's 7 stages from merely talking to actual violence, and there's a similar number of steps that lead to an actual genocide or a attempt to wipe out people. So if you look at the map of the hate groups, there's 66 in Texas, there's 22 in Mississippi, there's 24 in New York, and most of the hate groups, I think the predominant one is the Ku Klux Klan in the South. There's a lot of chapters. And the Nation of Islam, which is a black separatist organization. Saw some Black Panthers, also black separatist. There's also one called the Jewish Defense League, which you might be familiar with. That might ring a bell. It's by no means the most prolific. There aren't very many chapters, but they are in several states. You might be familiar with it because the Jewish Defense League in Canada is the one that is the organization that actually got George Galloway banned from Canada, using the excuse that he gave material aid to terrorists, and what they were talking about was when he led the Viva Palestina convoy with food and blankets and medicine to the people of Gaza, and he gave the supplies to the government of Gaza, which is Hamas, to give to the people, which is pretty much the only thing he could have done. There's not really any other way to get the supplies to the people, because they are the government. They're the ones you have to deal with. And also, I saw today several pictures of t-shirts that were given to the Israeli military before the assault on Gaza, which supposedly was a assault on Hamas militants and not on civilians. But it's really funny when you see the designs on these t-shirts that were given out to soldiers. That's not exactly the message that is on these t-shirts. They're not t-shirts with Hamas militants in crosshairs. They're a little bit different. The first t-shirt I saw was actually a picture of a pregnant woman in crosshairs, and it said, "1 shot, 2 kills." There was another one with a little boy in crosshairs, and it said, "They're harder to hit," presumably because they're smaller. There was one with a man blowing up a mosque, which might not sound so bad to you, but imagine if it was a man blowing up a church. That seems a little bit worse, right? Well, that's what a mosque is. And finally, there was one with a woman weeping beside a tiny grave, presumably the grave of a baby or a small child, and she was in crosshairs. And the caption read, better use Durex. And of course Durex is a brand of condoms, and the implicit message is it's better if the child was never born, because we're going to kill it. And these I'm going to try and put these into the video. Hopefully I can show you these, but this might seem shocking to you, but it's not really that shocking to me. This is what happens when you promote hate of any group of people and dehumanize that group and convince yourself and convince other people that those people in that group are all bad because of their race or their religion or something else that they were born into, and they can't really change that easily, if at all. This is what happens. This kind of illustrates the progression from saying hateful things to doing hateful things. And they gave them those t-shirts for a reason. It wasn't so they would protect Palestinian civilians. It was hate speech, and that hateful speech led to the indiscriminate targeting of civilians in Gaza. Recently they had many Israeli soldiers come out in the media and admit that they had done horrible things and vandalized property and killed innocent people indiscriminately. I'm not sure why they admitted these things, but they admitted that they had done these things. And of course the Israeli military investigated it for like 4 or 5 days and then came back and said, oh, it's all nonsense, it's just hearsay. Right, we heard the people say they did it. That's hearsay. But of course they're not going to admit that they did it, because they're not going to incriminate themselves, and right now they're still arrogant and smug enough to believe they can get away with whatever they do. That delusion is going to end very soon, but right now they think they can just smirk and deny everything and no one will call their bluff. But these things happened. It's everyone knows they happened, and this is an example of the progression of hate from merely talking about Palestinians being two-legged beasts to treating them like they were two-legged beasts or less. So anyway, check out these links and look at your own state and see how your state ranks in the hate group list. How many hate groups you have, where they are, what they're called, and think about the next time you decide that you want to talk about a particular race or religion and how mean and dirty they are. Think about the fact that those words might actually turn to actions one day, might turn to real violence, and that violence might turn to real genocide. It wouldn't be the first time. Thanks for watching.